Hello, I am bringing back my Football for the Fans series because I thought of a better, faster way to do it. Plus, I have experience with the website that I'm using now, so it won't be quite so jaggedy. Also, I decided to do it with a script so that it would run by faster instead of being 30 minutes of incoherent rambling. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Once again, first play we're going to have is Y stick. Again, it's going to be the same 5 plays, by the way. But basically what you have is, let me zoom in on it. What you have is this hitch and this swing route. Out of trips, it would be a flat route, but I'm keeping it 2x2 for simplicity's sake. With these two, what you have is you're stressing what's known as the curl flat defender in zone coverage. And so he kind of has to commit to one. If he goes wide with the back, you throw the hitch. If he stays with the hitch, you throw it out to the back. Also, you have slants on the back side to for an adjustment, if you call it, and then they switch into man coverage. That's also what the outside release fade is for. The good thing with the slants is you can also sit them down against zone with what's known as a snag route. Yeah, a snag, the most simply put, it is a slant where you can sit in open grass. Up next, we have the redrawn mesh play, and these two mesh routes, these are depending on how you run it, it's a hell of a man beater, and it could be a hell of a zone beater too, and I'll explain why very soon. So with how close they run to each other, what a lot of air raid guys will do is they'll have this as kind of a high five drill where the guy running the deeper crosser runs to a certain depth, and the guy running underneath, he just tells them, hey, be close enough to where you can high five them, and like they'll do that in practice. Now, the outside guys, I mean, I have them running fades because that's kind of the standard thing, but they can run other stuff. Also, I know I'm not drawing up the protection this time, but just know it'll be standard protection. This time I'm keeping the back in because, with the crossing routes, a little swing or flat would probably interfere with that. But one fun thing about mesh is that some college offenses have been taking, like either of these guys, but in particular, I can see it with the shallow crosser and turning it into kind of almost an inside wheel. Like Sarkisian and Alabama would do that, for example. I think he did that in the championship game actually for like a big gain. I could be wrong though, don't quote me on that. Up next, we have the Y sail play. Yes, I am inverting the old order of Y sail and Y cross from last time. I did not intend to do that, but here we are. So basically, what's happening with the Y sail play is the Y sail is kind of either a corner or an out, depending on the coverage. And this outside receiver is just, in everything I saw, he was running a fade to clear out for the Y behind him. But, it showed the fade as the first read, but really that's always going to be covered unless the defense is just garbage. Just being honest. So this second option, the sail, is what's usually going to be open right behind it. Now what else we have drawn, and ignore this little arrow here, it means nothing. But what it showed backside was a post with a little flat or quick out, however you want to denote it, and then this back just had a little swing route. I just drew it to the fade and sail side because that made more sense. Now here it is at last, the Y cross play, and if this looks a little confusing, it's just because the Y here has a lot of options against different things. But the I mean, at its most basic, this deeper crosser that the Y is supposed to run, that, again, the primary point of this play, that's how they'll run against man. The little small arrows within the route, that's kind of representative of sitting in green grass against zone coverage. This shorter version of it here is if, say they're showing pressure off the edge and they need a safety valve, well, the Y becomes the safety valve on this play. Now here the same side outside receiver will run either a post or a dig depending on coverage. Again, same thing with this guy on the outside. If this guy runs the dig, he runs the post, otherwise he has the outside release fade. This guy will probably run the flat or quick out, but may also run a hitch depending on things. And of course the back, as usual, has the swing route and is the check down if all else fails. And finally, we have probably, I wouldn't say the favorite, but probably one of the top 3 favorites of almost any air raid guy, 4 verts. And I mean, this is their go-to against any single high defense. I mean, if you've ever seen Coach McKie's channel, he said it himself. See single high, just run 4 verts, stupid. So, and against like a zone coverage, obviously what they'll do is they'll attack that free safety in the middle. And if it's single high, then just pick 2 matchups you like and get the free safety to go towards one and throw it to the other. Again, also the back is running a swing here as sort of a last resort check down. Now, again, getting a little more advanced. For one thing cover 3 guys can do is play what's known as the divider against this, where the cornerback will be between these 2 receivers on each side of the field, and that's one way to help this free safety in the middle. I'm sure there's other adjustments for that. And then another thing is sometimes you'll have this option where one of the guys, I mean, it won't be broken like that, but they'll have the option to sit against the zone coverage. And that, again, that's a more advanced concept for 4 verts out of air raid, but it's something that can be very effective. If you made this far into the video, please like, comment, sub, and I got one last thing, and it actually doesn't involve a pass play at all. This next part is going to be the very, very rudimentary knowledge I have of kind of what they conceptually like to do with pass protection. So for this bonus part that wasn't included in the previous version of this, for pass protection, the air raid, first of all, likes to have their linemen be, smaller, quicker guys who may be prone to getting run over, but that's okay because it's the air raid, they're throwing the ball. So how do they compensate for their smaller, quicker linemen? Well, as you can see here, the guys in gray, the offensive line, have pretty big splits between them. And it is pretty common to see, like with Mike Leach, wherever he's been, have his linemen have 36-inch splits. Normally, a normal split you'll see will be somewhere between 12 and 18 inches. And then even in high school, some power offenses will literally go shoe to shoe. But Mike Leach and other air raid guys say, to hell with that, we're doing our wide splits. But yeah, that's about it.